Welcome everyone to the Trending in My Life podcast, episode 17. This week, it's time to let go. To let go of the grudges you hold against people. Grudges new, grudges old. Grudges that influence aspects of your relationships with friends and relatives. Your motivation for this is that actually all that ball of anger, frustration and even hate that you have bottled up is doing harm to you. It's quite likely that the person you have a grudge against is completely oblivious to your feelings and wrapped up in their own life, so busy that you're not even a blip on their radar. Then there's you. Every time you catch a glimpse of this person, the resentment floods through you. Your fists clench, all your muscles go rigid, the tension makes your head ache. Then you have to push all that bundle of feelings down again, bottle it up, squash it into a ball somewhere deep inside. Now how bad do you suppose that is for you, to store all that negativity deep inside? One solution is to confront the person, shout at them, express all that you've been keeping quiet about. But confrontation is not what this podcast is about, for a number of reasons. If you're the kind of person to confront people who wrong you, then you're quite likely to have done that when it happened, or at least within a day or two. The truth is, there are many people in the world that hate confrontation and will do anything to avoid it. Plus, there are many situations where your personal well-being overrides the need to confront the person. For instance, in your job, a colleague may have stolen the credit for an idea that was yours. You thought you could trust them and that you were friends until the moment they did that. It made you look bad to the boss because you then didn't have any alternative idea to present. It may even have cost you a promotion. Both your boss and your colleagues now have a changed perception of you as not handling tasks, not having creative ideas. In fact, a bit of a loser. You're fully aware that none of your colleagues would believe you saying that was your idea, and you don't want to sink even lower in people's view than you already are by saying it. So there you are, left with this big black ball of negativity, resentment, anger at the injustice of it all, deep down inside you. The person who did this to you really doesn't give two hoots about your feelings and has already moved on. If you confront them, you're going to cause an atmosphere in the work environment. People will take sides, and you'll be labelled as a troublemaker. It's easy to see that if you're not careful, you'll not only lose your promotion, but you'll be the first to be picked in a round of redundancies. Of course, this is completely, utterly, totally unfair, unjust and horrible for you to have to go through. But you can lose days, weeks, months even, wallowing in self-pity, wishing it had all turned out differently. Every time you see this colleague or hear people talking about them, you're right back to reliving that moment, and all the resentment and anger, that big black ball of negativity gets harder to keep bottling up and pushing down inside. You're not alone. Millions of people in this world, in all kinds of jobs, suffer exactly the same resentment you're feeling, through different situations. It might even be that their employer favours certain people over others. The first step to resolving this issue is asking yourself how it's affecting you, holding this grudge, this all-consuming negativity bottled inside. It's likely that when this all began, you told your friends about it, and they sympathised, gave you a hug, took you out for a drink, tried to help you forget it with distractions. A week or month passes, and you notice when you bring up the subject again, they're not so sympathetic. They might say, "Are you still going on about that? Isn't that old news now?" They might even tell you to let it go. When they do that, you can feel a little bit of resentment creep in. Why don't they understand? Why aren't they on your side? Maybe they're not your friend after all. But think about it. Maybe this is your friend trying to help you, trying to get you to move on with your life. Ask yourself this. The friend of yours is a friend for a reason. You share the same sense of humour, both enjoying skating or fishing or some other hobby, have known each other years. So would it be characteristic for them to steer you wrong or let you down? And the answer is no. And that's where you start to consider the advice. Let it go. But you can't. You're not a pushover. You're not weak and wishy-washy. You were wronged, and the consequence is that person will get squinty-eye evil looks from you and hate vibes sent their way forever. Ask yourself if your grudge is having any noticeable effect on that person. I'm guessing no. For instance, if they asked you to do a task and you knew it was part of your job, but you just could not bear to do something for them, you put on your frown and say, "You're so busy, you couldn't possibly take on another thing." What do you think? They'll fall to their knees and beg your forgiveness, or simply walk off and ask someone else who'll eagerly say yes? Your grudge is only hurting you. You're stressed, tense, full of anger and resentment, and the more you bottle that inside, the more it seems to leak out and affect other parts of your life. Your general demeanour becomes crabby. You snap at people asking you a question. People don't want to invite you out because you sit up a corner hugging a drink and scowling so nobody wants to talk to you. You're tired because you don't sleep well, because your subconscious constantly replays the incident where it all began. You're not enjoying your life, and all this time you're focusing on all these negative emotions balled up inside you. They say what you focus on is what you get. It's time. Stop. Stop today. Reclaim your life. Be the person you once were. Let it go. It all starts with popping the balloon. Buy one if you need a visual cue, or imagine it. Calmly gather up every piece bottled up within you, every dark thought, all the hate and the resentment, the screaming injustice, all of it. Don't leave anything. Force it inside the balloon. Imagine you squeezing it all in there. Look how big it is. You don't want it inside of you. You don't want it in your life at all. Now you're going to do it. You're going to burst it. Poof! It's gone. And everything bad and negative has gone too. Disappeared into thin air. It's really, really gone, and you feel lighter. There's space inside you now for the sunlight to flood in, and for happy, yes, real happy feelings to grow again and become the core of your whole being. You've taken back control of your life and aren't ruled by reacting to seeing that person. You're letting go, not because you were wrong to hold a grudge, not because they didn't deserve your resentment. No, you're letting go for you, because you don't want to be ruled by all that negativity in your life. You're letting go so you can change the dynamic, and they have no hold on you anymore. Long after they forgot all about you and what they did, you're getting to forget about it too. You will always know that they can't be trusted, and their personality is self-centered, self-absorbed, selfish, but they don't register on your radar anymore. Don't deserve your time. You feel lighter, brighter. You find yourself smiling. After all, you've got lots of things to do. Lots of things more interesting than focusing on a grudge. Once you've taken back that control, you can start assessing where you want to be. You will have another brilliant idea like the one they stole, and you'll be careful not to share it, and you'll get the credit you're due for it, and the spotlight will eventually come your way. Because if you were inventive and creative enough to have the first idea, you'll have another. But you have control of your life, and if you decide this workplace isn't a good fit for you anymore, you can start looking at what else is on offer. Maybe there's a vacancy where you might be happier, and perhaps you'll apply and interview just to see how it feels. Then decide where your career path lies, and follow it. If you feel you're in the right job, you may find that person who stole your idea hasn't come up with any of their own ideas since. The boss is wondering why they got promoted, as they don't seem to be very suited to the role. People can be money-driven, but time will show whether they have the skills to do the job. So there you are, coming up with great idea after great idea, feeling more creative and enthusiastic than ever before, and your boss is thinking, maybe that other person needs to be let go and you need to be promoted instead. So everything worked out in the end. But maybe that's not your story. Maybe you got so angry you quit and wallowed for several weeks till a good friend shouted at you to get off your arse and do something with your life. And again, at some point, and before your landlord kicks you out for not paying your rent, yes, at some point, you will decide to let go of the resentment. And poof, that balloon of hate inside goes pop. Then start job hunting and register with some agencies and email your resume out to every possible place. You actively go after the life you want, and despite setbacks, you don't give up. You just keep going, because the next job, or the next one, or the one after that, will be the one. You can do this. It's as easy as poof. Now let's look at relationships and how you get to the point of needing to let go for your own good. Your longest relationship is likely to be with your parents, and because it spans the years from childhood to adulthood, there's plenty of opportunity for disagreements to fester into resentment and long-held grudges. During adulthood, your views may change to the point of seeing your parents' point of view when you have children of your own. Sometimes a strict set of boundaries you resented so much and argued and slammed doors after can become repeated with your own teenagers, and you suddenly come to the realization that it came from a point of wanting to protect you, not spoil your fun, and you realize you may have misjudged your own parents. There are grudges born out of that feeling of favoritism a parent has for one child over another. The sibling that can do no wrong, whereas you suffer constant criticism. This is likely to continue into your adulthood, and you may choose to confront a parent over this. I think it's highly likely they won't share your viewpoint, and neither will your sibling, who is basking in the glow of being the favourite. They won't want anything to change. Once again, don't let that ball of resentment fester and grow inside you and become the focus of so much wasted time and energy. Choose to let it go. Choose to burst the balloon. Poof! Gone out of your life, out from inside, letting in air and light and space. Accept these relatives won't change, but you don't have to be around them every day or indeed at all. If it's not possible to move out immediately, just make a plan to reach your goal and work towards it. Baby step your way to a better future. Learn to ignore being left out or negative remarks. If they can't appreciate you for who you are, then it's in an environment you'd be better off without. Move in with a friend. Get a job that comes with accommodation. Nothing changes if nothing changes, as they say. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner. These relationships suffer from their fair share of resentment and held on to grudges too. As your partner, you start by believing this person should always take your side, always be in your corner, but over time, all aspects of this person reveal themselves. They may have long-standing beliefs on certain topics that you never knew about. It had never come up, and these might be directly opposed to your beliefs. It can feel like a betrayal because you're not on the same page. It's that fork in the road where you accept that they're entitled to their own opinion as a separate individual, or you argue your point, convinced you can change their view to be the same as yours. They may even choose to let you believe you've changed their view, just to end the argument, but secretly feel the same as they always have. Arguing over who gets the last piece of apple pie will likely not be a cause for a grudge. But how your children's schooling will progress, when one of you wants them to have a private paid-for education and the other one wants the state school free system to educate them, then that may cause a grudge. Whatever causes the grudge to materialise, when it's the person you wake up with every morning and go to bed with every night, there's a lot of opportunity to discuss and work through issues that you feel resentful about. But equally, there's a lot of time to ignore the whole issue, bury your head in the sand, keep that resentment deep inside and pretend it's not building up or growing bigger. Will that be good for you? Feeling that resentment every so often, then bottling it up? If you love this person, you may need to accept the differences and that opinions vary from person to person. And poof, pop your inside resentment so that you can move past it. If you decide to sit down and hash it out, it may not go your way, but you will clear the air and have given your views an airing. It's probably a good idea to poof your resentment balloon first, because then your discussion will come from a place of wanting to improve your connection and quality of your relationship, rather than accusations and insults. If you're only at the girlfriend-boyfriend stage, you may decide letting go of your resentment involves letting go of the person too, that they just aren't the person you want to be with. The classic "it's not you, it's me" line has an element of truth, because it's your own feelings that are stopping you accepting this person. The things they say, the things they do, have led to this build-up of resentment inside of you, and you don't like how you're living with all these negative emotions bottled up. You want to move on and be free, and have decided to be away from this person will be the answer for you. I think it's quite a well-known tactic now to remove toxic people from your life by stopping contact, not being in the same friend circle, or simply moving away, out of sight, out of mind. It's another strategy, and not a bad one, as long as the negative feelings you harbour fade and dissolve once they're gone. Just be sure to deal with that negative ball of feelings inside you, so that if you do ever see them again, it won't all come rushing back. You'll have let go properly, so it's not able to come back and consume you. As with all my podcasts, I'm discussing a topic with possible scenarios that you can relate to if you're in a similar one yourself. I don't have all the answers, only suggestions for ways you might deal with things so that you're able to be happier in yourself. Holding on to grudges is almost a default reaction to someone treating us poorly, and time to let go is rarely immediately after the incident. Reflecting on whether a grudge is harming you, yourself, is my point, so just think about it. Some grudges will fade away all by themselves. The person you hold a grudge against can radically change their personality. They meet the love of their life and become a softer version of themselves. All signs of the previous snapping turtle disappear. It may be starting a family brings out a caring instinct, and they become sensitive to feelings, not oblivious. It can be a life-changing incident, severe turbulence on a plane, a near miss of a road traffic accident, and suddenly feeling grateful to be alive can be an epiphany, and all their selfish ways evaporate, and they begin to say how grateful they are for your friendship. A wake-up incident like that can change people dramatically. It'll take you by surprise when the person you had been grudging on suddenly seems kinder and nicer, and you'll need time to adjust. So your initial reaction will be distrust, too good to be true, that they've turned over a new leaf. But it does happen occasionally. When you remove the ball of grudging resentment inside yourself, you'll like yourself more, accept your life more, and welcome the change to allow positivity to flood in, making space for a new focus, a happier you. There's a change to welcome in. Sometimes moving on with your life has skipped the letting go phase, and you may be living somewhere new, working somewhere else, in a new relationship, but still not having let go of that negative ball of grudginess inside you. If that's the case, unfortunately for the new place, new job, or new partner, your view of all these will be coloured by what you've gone through before. The people and places haven't done anything for you to resent, but you're almost predicting they will, and that history will repeat itself. Be careful not to carry the grudge forward and dump it on the undeserving. Signs of this is when your partner responds to a remark with, "Where did that come from?" Time you analyse what you just said and act accordingly. You may owe an apology to current partner and realise you need to let go of the past to enjoy your future. Someone at work could respond to a remark from you with, "No, you've got that all wrong, we don't do that here." Again, you suddenly realise, that's right, they don't do that here. This is a new place and they do things differently, better. So let go of your judgments. You might even be complaining to a friend who replies with, "You sure about that?" And you realise no, you're not sure. In fact, you don't know if it's true or not. You're just assuming, because that's what happened in the last place you lived. Time to let go. Let go so you can move forward and live the new version of your life, which is where you want to be. Doing work you enjoy, and sharing free time with friends and partner who are happy to support and be there for you. We can't help resenting things that happen in life and blaming it on people. It's human nature, but we can change that when we realise it's negatively affecting our own life, focusing on that resentment till it's all we think about. Let it go for your own sake, for your own happiness. Well, that's all for this week. I hope it helps somebody who's listening in some small way. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Check out my other content releases on Wednesdays and Fridays. See you next time. Bye for now.